Hey, what's up, new community? I don't know if you've noticed when you've shown up on Sunday morning, but it is absolutely packed around here. We're having a hard time making room in our auditorium, but also if you go to pick up your child at New Community Kids, it is absolutely slammed. And so if you missed the church service on August 2nd, we basically announced that we need to be moving towards adding an identical service to our weekend gatherings. And we laid out the details at the potluck, but we also know that many of you may have missed those two events, and so we wanted to drop you in via video so that you would be in the know. Did you know that 64,000 people in Jackson County are not connected to a local church? And as we look at Jackson County, we also know that there's only 100 churches at all in Jackson County, and of those 100, only 10 of the 100 churches have over 100 or more people in average attendance. Did you know that New Community is now the third largest church in Jackson County in only 2.5 years? But also, did you know that we need to make room for more people? So what we would love to do is to be able to launch an identical second service on October 4th. That's roughly about 6 or 7 weeks from now, the recording of this video. But as you watch this video and look at the calendar, that's really a short period of time. And so we'd like to launch this service October 4th. But as we announced at our potluck and as we kind of have shared from the stage, it's going to cost about $8,500 to launch this second service. But what we wanted to do is just kind of give you a breakdown of what that $8,500 looks like, because that may just seem like a large price tag for adding an identical service since we're already here. As you know, most of you, at some point, really over the last 2.5 years, you've probably received a mailer from New Community in your mailbox. And so what we do, every time we do a mailer, we mail to about 14,000 homes in this area. And so we need to let the community know we're making room for them, right? That makes sense? So we need to get the word out that New Community is making room for more people. So one of the ways we want to do that is by sending a mailer. One of the most strategic ways we communicate to the neighborhood here is by running ads in the local paper. We see this work very well when we put a color ad in the local newspaper. And so we see our web hits go way up, attendance goes way up when we run ads in the newspaper. And so the biggest bulk of the expense to launching a second service is really getting the word out so that everyone knows that we are making room for them. In addition to just the marketing, which is about $5,500 of that money we're trying to raise, we also know that the church sign out front needs to be changed. We need to add signage to communicate to everybody who drives by that we have two identical worship gatherings for the community. So when you look at that, you look at the mailer, we also had to look at the consumable things when it costs to doing ministry here on the weekends and weekends. I mean, let's just take our program, for example. We have the cost of printing the extra programs, which is one thing, then the toner to print the programs in-house because our information changes weekly. As you know, our Connect cards change weekly because we have different next steps every week. But then also the way that you partner financially with God and what He's doing here in New Community is use giving envelopes. And just these things alone cost money, and they're in our normal operating budget week to week to week. But if we grow 200 people in 1 week, we've got to buy more of these things and produce more of these things. And so a part of that $8,500 is a part of the consumables that part of the consumables that make ministry happen. Everywhere from programs to Connect cards to communion to children's ministry resources and curriculum and activities and snacks and all the things it takes to make New Community happen week in and week out. We've kind of pre-built into this price tag of $8,500 because we knew we wanted to launch the service but also have 6 to 8 weeks of money there in reserve to make sure we're not operating way under budget. And so what we wanted to communicate to you is that the way New Community is growing, the way we're trending is that by September we're going to be a church of 450 people. That's absolutely mind-blowing, but we're just thrilled with what God is doing. And so quite simply put, we'll be out of room in September, but we know we need to continue to make room for the 64,000 people that are not connected to the local church. And so we want to launch this identical service on October 4th if we raise this money. And so really the question that we want to ask you is, will you partner with what God is doing at New Community? Will you partner financially? We need to raise $8,500 above and beyond our weekly need, and our weekly need is $7,800 to operate week to week to week. And so what we're inviting you to do simply is to give if you've never given before. I would also like to invite you, if you've given before but you don't regularly give, maybe you can begin to give regularly week in and week out. Go ahead and pre-decide what that is and do that. But if you give regularly and you've never tried tithing, we want to invite you to the 90-day tithe challenge. Figure out what 10% of your income is and tithe on that for 90 days and to kind of test drive that and see what God does in your life. But if you're a tither and you have the means available and you're able to give a sacrificial gift generously or extravagantly above your tithe, we want to invite you to consider that as well. We believe God is doing great things. We believe He's called us here with a unique vision to reach in a community like no other church has reached this community before. We could not do this without you. So we love you guys. Have a great week, and we will see you on Sunday. Peace. I don't know if you know this or not, but one of the ways that you can donate to New Community is by going to our website simply and just clicking on the Donate tab right from our homepage. And once you do that, it's going to take you to the New Community PayPal account we've got set up. And so you can actually just type in the amount you want to donate, click Update Total, and that'll take you to a page where you can put in your debit card information and then be able to partner with God financially through the World Wide Web and through a secure way to give through PayPal. And so that is an easy way to partner with what God is doing at New Community through the website. And so we want to invite you to do that. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I leave the house without a checkbook. I leave the house without any cash. And this is a great way to be able to give to God and honor God with your resources by giving online.